I noticed her the moment we arrived. The way Sophie's small shoulders seemed to shrink under the weight of a room too crowded to notice her. 20 people around the table. No one made room for a 10-year-old who had spent the afternoon folding colored cards, her careful letters addressed to her grandparents. My mother sat in the kitchen, ostensibly busy, but really, she was busy ignoring Sophie. We set down our coats. The noise of silverware clinking, chairs scraping, laughter punctuating the warm smell of roasted turkey. These were the sounds of belonging, but not for Sophie. Felt the pull between saying something and holding myself still, as if restraint could shield her from a pattern I'd known since my own childhood, the quiet erasure of the youngest, the smallest, the most earnest. I remembered another Thanksgiving years ago when my own ideas, my own attempts at kindness had been brushed aside. Those memories came like shards, unbidden, the dismissive glance, the half laugh, the unspoken hierarchy of attention. It wasn't just Sophie. It was generations of overlooking, of small cruelties that accumulate almost invisibly. She sat alone, on the floor near the kitchen, trying to make the cards visible to someone, anyone, who would care. The room seemed to hold its breath for a moment. Then my aunt's voice broke the fragile silence. "Who's the helper?" My mother didn't hesitate. She pointed at Sophie. "Oh, that's the maid." I felt a sharp contraction in my chest. I didn't speak right away. I could have yelled, drawn the room's attention like a spotlight on shame. But that felt cheap. Sophie didn't need spectacle. She needed recognition. I stood slowly, letting the quiet gather weight. Everyone noticed because I was usually the one to sit quietly, let the rhythms of family dinner pass me by, bent to her level, and gently lifted her to a chair at the table. The act itself was unremarkable, mundane even, but in this household, mundane could shift everything. Some faces tightened, others blinked, as if catching something they had never seen before. The authority in restraint, the refusal to let dismissal pass. No one applauded. No one whispered apologies. Yet the room felt subtly altered, as if the air had thinned enough for reality to settle. Sophie's small hand trembled a little as she placed her cards in front of her grandparents. She didn't cry. She didn't complain. She smiled quietly, a smile measured and proud, and for the first time that day, she belonged, not because the room had changed, because we had shifted the small orbit she occupied. Dinner continued. I stayed near her, noticing who looked away and who didn't. Conversations moved around us, unaware or unwilling to acknowledge the subtle recalibration. I felt relief and wariness simultaneously. Relief that the injustice had been met with something deliberate, wariness because the pattern wouldn't vanish overnight. Afterwards, washed the dishes silently, Sophie at my side. She hummed quietly, not of joy, not of resignation, but of presence. Caught her glance toward the rest of the family and saw no expectation there, only dignity. The room remained imperfect, filled with familiar hierarchies and old habits. Yet a quiet authority had emerged in our corner. We had shifted the balance, not with anger, not with spectacle, but with calm assertion. The lesson was subtle, almost invisible, but it was ours. Power need not scream to exist. I left the kitchen later, glancing back at Sophie, her cards spread neatly before her, each one a small flag of persistence. In that small, silent reclaiming, the pain of being overlooked was not erased, but it was countered. In that counter, we discovered a quiet victory, one that was uncelebrated, yet undeniable. The family would continue as it always had. Some eyes would remain blind. Some hearts would remain distant, but we had carved a space of recognition, and that mattered. Quietly, irrevocably, we had shifted the course of a small life, and through it glimpsed the dignity that had been waiting all along.